What's up, guys? It's your TA Horace. I'm here to show you guys how to create the graphs that you did from your dilutions the other day. I know when I explained it in class, it was not exactly that straightforward, but after you watch this, it should make a lot of sense. And obviously, at first glance, it doesn't make sense. You can just rewatch it and copy the steps that I do. But I'll go ahead and get right into it. So first off, you're going to want to open the class data sheet on Canvas. And following that, you'll go under dilutions data right around here, and then you're gonna copy from here all the way across, copying all the data. You can leave out the average and standard deviation, because I copied it down there. You're gonna bring it down to column 23. You're gonna Command C, and then you're gonna jump up to Microsoft Excel, and then you're going to Command V. So yeah, another thing is I need to clarify, make sure that you are doing, oh, 1 second. Sorry, I didn't emphasize, you're gonna go to Microsoft Excel. Make sure you're doing it on desktop because if it's not on desktop, this isn't gonna work. There's like a lot of other complicated steps that you have to do. Not exactly complicated, but just won't work on Excel online. So make sure you're on desktop, um, paste it, but then we can go ahead and keep on moving. So your data is right here. This is of the class. And then down here, I did the calculations for you guys, the average and standard deviation. From there, what you're gonna do is that I'm gonna have to ask I'm gonna ask you guys, you're going to select all of the class data. Okay, then you're going to insert. And then from insert, you're going to go to these lines and scatter plots. And under the 2D line right here, you're going to click this graph right here. So at first glance, it looks like, something's really wrong with it, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to see this selection right here, switch row/column, click that, and everything should be normal. This is how your graph is supposed to look. Obviously, it's not finished because you have to add a lot of chart elements. Make sure that you add your chart table. It's going to be optical absorbance versus dilution factor, or sorry, dilution factor. Um, and then this is class data. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to add your axis titles, which is very important. Primary, horizontal, primary, vertical. And then you're going to optical absorbance. And then make sure that you specify that this is at 600 nanometers. That was the wavelength that we use it at. And then here you can say that what the dilution factor is. So that right there is your um that right there is your graph when talking about the entire class. So, that's pretty straightforward, thankfully. So now what you're going to do is that you're going to make a second graph. This one is a little more complicated. This is what you're going to do with your own special data. So this graph is going to consist of, obviously, on the y-axis is going to be the x-axis is going to be your dilution factor. But on the y-axis, you're going to have one of your specific data, 1 through 24. And then another one is going to be the average. And then we're going to put error bars. But here, this is what we're going to do. So right now I'm going to copy. I set these up here so it'd be easier to copy and paste so we can access it easier. So that's our dilution factor. Following that, I'm going to select a random person. We'll go with person number 8. We'll copy that. And then after that, we're going to copy our average. Okay. So and make sure you title your axes before we go into the making the chart or the graph, because then it's gonna act all like wonky and won't let you rename. So you're gonna say my data for this one, and then for this one you're gonna write standard, or not, sorry, standard deviation. You're gonna write class average, or like you could just say average. Okay, so now that that's done, what you're gonna do is you're going to select all of it. Same thing, you're gonna go to insert, 2D lines, and that should be it right there. So before we add on the rest, I'd say let's add our chart titles and axes. We can say my data my data versus class average. And then you're going to want to click add chart elements. Make sure you do primary horizontal, say dilution factor. And then you're going to want to add your primary vertical and say your optical absorbance. Clarify that it was at 600 nanometers for the wavelength again. And your axis titles are good. So now what we're going to do is we want to add error bars so we can get a relative idea of like our range of error. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these standard deviation values that I had provided. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the graph again and click it, and then you're going to click add chart element. After that, you're going to go down to error bars, and then it doesn't really matter what you click, honestly, but you can click standard deviation because that's what we're going to be doing. X this out right here, and then you're going to click these bars, okay? And now what you're going to do is you're going to click custom and click specify value. And for this part that says positive error value, you're going to select this column right here, okay, for the positive, and same thing for negative, you're going to select this column right here. And you're like, okay, and that did not come out how it's supposed to look. Let me do that one more time. I apologize. You're gonna do custom and specify value, highlight right here. Okay, and then highlight these values right here. And then you're like, okay, and there we go. That's how it's supposed to look. So these are how your two graphs are supposed to look. Obviously play back the video if you didn't understand anything. And if you have any questions at all, you can email me or you can email the other TAs. But honestly, I think I'm the one who understands this best. So if you have any questions, email me. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.